All right, now, everybody. Quiet, listen to me. We're going to start a show. Now, some of you people have been with me before. You know it's going to be a tough grind, but we're going to have a show.
It's happening again. The Mark Thompson Birthday Show.
Yeah, what up, everybody? It is my birthday. Very excited to be on. You know, a lot of people, gotta say, would, take the day off. It is Christmas. It's the Christmas season. You know, why not just, get high and drink vodka all day? Am I right, people?
Stay at home and get baked.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying. But not here. We are on. We feel a responsibility to you. And it's so exciting to be, connecting with you over the holidays, as we have. We're trying to do live shows all week, all the way up until New Year, just so you can see the commitment that we have to this. All the viewership is down and listenership is down typically. So this is where you see like the night watchman doing the news. If you watch,
Hey.
I mean, they do, right? No, exactly. I'm talking about on the local news. It's true. But that is Kim. Good morning, Kim.
Morning.
Happy birthday, Mark Thompson.
Thank you, Kim McAllister. Very cool to have a birthday.
My Mark Thompson. Happy birthday to my Mark Thompson, not the other Mark Thompson.
Oh yeah, the other Mark Thompson who was on earlier in the last week or so. Good morning to Albert,
Morning.
the commissioner. Word about sports, Albert, over the weekend. You're happy with the Niners' performance?
Yeah, very happy. Very happy with the Warriors beating the Grizzlies. So there's a new rivalry in the NBA, but Niners are looking good going to the playoffs. Happy birthday, and also happy Boxing Day for all my Canadians out there.
Yeah, what up, my Canadians? Yeah. And Tony, the master of all things technical. Good morning, Tony.
Morning.
Mm-hmm.
Just proved
Tony,
that thanks, Tony.
Tony, would you like to explain why you crashed on takeoff on the my big birthday show?
Thanks, Tony.
Yeah. What happened? What happened, Tony?
I'll tell you. So I had the great idea of those intro, the sounders there. I put it into the thing that says background music and hit play on it, and I realized that it does pause. So when I checked it to make sure it started right, cool. Did the start, and then it actually paused it from that point. So when I hit play again to start it, it started it from the middle instead of the begining.
So what I said to Tony before we came on, because I said, hey, man, just send them all to me. I'll run them, okay? Because I don't like, I think they just, when a lot of people do things, a lot of crap happens. At least if crap happens and I'm doing it, I can blame myself. Tony said, no, I got it again, and he did seem to have it. But then, of course, anyway, I want to thank.
I'll send them to you right now.
I want to thank.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, would you please? I want to thank the magnificent Shadoe Stevens for recording special sweepers for us for the birthday show. Pretty great. And I got it. There it is. Yeah.
It's happening again. The Mark Thompson Birthday Show.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty great, everybody. And in the spirit of greatness, I want to welcome one of my dear friends, and I think literally one of the most talented, creative people I've ever met. He is the voice of so many things in Family Guy and in commercials, in feature films. You may not even realize much of the time that you're hearing this guy's voice. Please welcome Josh Robert Thompson, everyone. Yeah.
Happy birthday, Mark Thompson.
Let me put the effects on. Let me put the effects on.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to Mark Thompson.
Yeah, that's a little heavy on that. A little heavy on the
sorry,
effects.
buddy.
We were doing dueling Shadoe Stevens before we started. Hi, Josh, and welcome, Shadoe in Hollywood.
So good to see you, Shadoe. I love you, and happy birthday to you and to myself, Shadoe Stevens. Oh my God.
He is so great.
Happy
and
birthday.
I had met Shadoe Stevens before, but I kind of bonded with Shadoe Stevens at your premiere event in Hollywood.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
So come to think of it, I mean, I I think that's true. Yeah. Josh
So that
did.
was 2015. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was 2015, and you guys were both talking to each other at the premiere. And
yes, that's right. We were talking,
making the ground rumble.
Yeah, Mark, nice to meet you. Well, actually, we met before. Yes, I believe we did meet before. Mark, nice to see you here at Josh's event. Sorry. So, I want to just tell Kim that Josh. This is one of his creative muscles. By the way, can I interrupt because I'm a little all over the place? Still to come today, Bobby Slayton, Kevin Pollak, Josh Mankiewicz will be sitting in with Courtney on Mark's Murder Mystery Monday. It's a huge show ahead. I was excited to have Josh here, and it's my birthday and a little disorganized, so we'll get to all of that. I know the people of Buffalo, New York are digging out. I worked in Buffalo, love Buffalo, still have many friends in Buffalo. And so I'm thinking of you guys in Buffalo, and Kim will continue to update news. We'll do that bottom of the hour. Now, what I was going to say is Josh did a show, which is kind of a combination of it was something between Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood and the Dean Martin Show. So imagine Mr. Rogers, coming on with a cocktail, you know what I mean? And it was so fun, full of puppets and voices and all that Josh does. And it was at that premiere where I met Shadoe. Yeah.
That's right, Shadoe. Hey, nice to meet you, Mark. Hey, great to meet you, Shadoe.
And the thing is, you couldn't tell which person was talking because they both sound almost exactly the same. Is there an earthquake? No, it's just Shadoe and Mark talking. Happy birthday to Mark Thompson. Here's some liners for you before I go to bed. God bless him.
I love your background, Josh, because you have like this almost, it's very apropos for Mark's Murder Monday. You've got the eerie blue in the background.
Mysterious.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, there's all kinds of, there's an old tube TV back there, and Michael Myers. I'm a big horror fanatic. I thought I'd, make things a little creepy for the show today.
Yeah.
Creepy Mark's birthday. Creepy Mark.
Josh Robert Thompson is a major horror film guy. He's a real cinephile, really loves movies of all kind, but I think really has a place for horror. And so on Halloween, he actually, I think you were running movies out of that. Maybe not that one, but like an old school TV. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it so much. I have multiple old TVs. No, it was the old Zenith, the wood paneled 26-inch Zenith in the window.
How much is that Zenith in the window? The one with the waggly tail, Shadoe Stevens. It's Mark Thompson Show.
So
happy birthday,
so Josh,
this is the big bash.
Thank you, pal.
Exciting.
Thank you, pal. It is very exciting to have you on. And, you should have been on long ago, and that's really my fault. And you're going to be on a lot in the future if your schedule permits. I mentioned that
go ahead.
You've been doing Family Guy for a long time now, voices on Family Guy. People likely know you from the voice of Jeff Peterson on the Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson.
That's right.
You did everything on that, and that was just a brilliant. You turned that into a brilliant character. It wasn't before you got there, honestly.
Yeah, it just started out as this puppet. Josh, can you do this puppet for us, man? We'll try it out for the week, see how it goes. You never know, man. It probably won't work though. It probably won't work, man. Don't worry. And so, it was that. It was the celebrity flies. It was all the phone calls. It was, the voice of Secretariat the Horse, who sounded a lot like Morgan Freeman. And, pretty much everything on that show. A talking rhinoceros. We had it all.
Morgan Freeman came on to the show, Kim. Came on to that Late Late Show. And, of course, Josh does a spot-on Morgan Freeman. So good is Josh Robert Thompson's Morgan Freeman that when they can't get Morgan Freeman to replace a bit of dialogue for some, movie, that's got to go overseas, or when there's a commercial where a word drops out or the audio's bad and they need to do ADR on it, or what is it, something dialogue replacement, auto dialogue, whatever it is.
That's correct.
Actor dialogue replacement. They called Josh to come do the Morgan Freeman.
Man.
Yeah.
That's when you know you're good. Yeah.
That's when you know you're good. Or if it's Mark Thompson's birthday, they call me in to say, happy birthday, Mark Thompson. Oh, I wish I could tell you that Mark blew out those candles. I wish I could. But what can you do?
That's I get the Shawshank reference. Yeah, I did. You're the one. Hey, and The Kelly Clarkson show also employs him, Kim. He's the voice of God on the Kelly Clarkson and doing the Morgan Freeman voice.
Sure.
Right? Yeah.
That's right. Kelly will say, God, are you there? And I'll say, I am here, Kelly. And then all the guests will get very confused. Is that Morgan Freeman? What the hell's going on?
Like, how did you get that job? Did you respond to the ad looking for God? I mean, how that work?
No, that worked out really nicely. That one of the head writer and producers over there used to work on the Late Late Show and said, I have an idea. I think we could, have the voice of God for these game show segments. And so he called me and I said, well, I guess I'll do it. Sure, why not? And 3 years later, here I am.
How terrific. Yeah, how terrific. I mean, Josh just has had all this real renaissance with all of this work, and now he's broadening it. I know you're working on movies and you're doing, of your own. I believe, and I don't like to dwell on this, but I kind of view him as like a brother or something. Like I see him so talented, and I want him to achieve all of that, those different things that talent provides. And one of those things, I think, is to direct a film. I mean, I believe he's got those abilities. He has that. He's literate in cinema, literate enough to apply a lot of that stuff, and he's creative enough to, write and direct. So I know you're kind of, the primordial ooze of that is happening, I think, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's how I started. That's making monster movies in my backyard in Cleveland. My mom was the camera person, And in fact, we went and saw The Fabelman. I took my mom to see The Fabelman.
Oh, yeah.
Spielberg's semi-autobiographical film, and we were just crying through the whole thing. She just kept turning to me saying, that's what we would do. I would shoot you. I would have the camera in the backyard making monster movies. As my cousins are dressed up as demons, and I'm putting fake slime on everybody. God love you, Mom. But I appreciate that, Mark. You're one of my biggest cheerleaders. And the last time I was on the show, we did the KFI show. You were filling in for Tim Conway, and that was like one of my favorite interviews. One of my favorite interviews because you just really get it. And so that's kind of what I'm doing, man. Getting back to making movies, getting back to doing that kind of stuff, and it's really really exciting for me, man.
And the other kind of stuff as well. The Mark Thompson show on his birthday. Don't forget.
This is gonna be you watch. Soon it'll be like on your bio and was on the Mark Thompson show.
Well, it is true that the Mark Thompson bump, you will get a little bit of that off of doing this show, probably. Josh, you also do another impression we haven't mentioned, and I can't let you leave our little birthday rumble today without doing it. And it was so good, and I don't mean to build up to it, but it was that people really thought it was the former governor of California calling into different radio shows. I mean, it was crazy, right? I mean, isn't that what happened with Schwarzenegger, right?
Yeah, that was Fox and Friends. Of all the shows, early in the morning, Steve Ducey and the gang taking phone calls. And this was right before the recall. I think right before the recall election even. So I don't even think that, maybe it was happening. I don't know, but
I called in and said, listen, first of all, let me tell you, I want to talk to you. First of all, let me say, Mark, this is fantastic. Your birthday is so fantastic, and you look great, you're in great shape, and you're obviously working out, And let me say this, of all the birthdays that I've celebrated, this one is the most recent. Exactly. You're so fantastic. You're so fantastic. This is so fantastic. I love it.
They bought it. They thought it was Schwarzenegger when he called in.
Yes, they did. Yeah.
And I stayed on the air for about 4 minutes or something, and then I think Steve Ducey was like, "Wait a minute, is that really?"
You made it. Well, you made it progressively weirder, right? You said progressively weirder stuff, and then they realized.
I think I was just running out of steam at that time. I had note cards. I was so nervous. I had note cards with little phrases and facts just all laid out. I was doing this out of my apartment at the time, and they started really grilling me. Well,
listen, education and taxes, and I'm not sure. Oh no, what do I do? And then the Howard Stern show heard that. They heard that call, and that's how I started doing Stern. So.
I love it. I love it. Well, I love that you could spend a second with us here today. The work you do can be heard everywhere, as I say. Sometimes we recognize it as you, sometimes we don't. But all the time, it reflects such great talent, pal. I love having you on, and I hope to see more of you in the new year. How about it for Josh Robert Thompson, everybody?
I love you. You're so
Thank
great.
you, Josh.
Mark Thompson, happy birthday.
Thank you, Josh Robert Thompson. Very, very cool. Yeah, how about that?
The Mark Thompson Show.
Yeah, it is. We are live, and there is no guy when it comes to tax attorneys and having your tax act together that you've got to have together for the new year. There's no guy I'd rather see than this guy right here, Steve Moskowitz, everybody. Hey,
Hi,
Steve.
Mark. Hi, Kim. Happy day after
Hi.
Christmas.
Yeah.
And, here it is. And you know what I was thinking about on Christmas? Everybody's giving gifts, and that's good. But now it's time to give yourself a gift. And what gift might that be, Mark? It would be finally stop whining about you're paying too much taxes and let us do something about that. I see that over and over and over again. Here it is, tail end of the year. And there's so much can be done for so many businesses, and people don't realize it. And they do my March Madness, where in March they're unhappy, saying, oh, they're paying so much taxes, and the big corporations don't pay, and they make so much money. And how can that be? It's tax planning, folks. That's what it's all about. And we can use those tax planning techniques for your business that is a much smaller than the Fortune 500. As you know, that's why I became a tax attorney.
I think that's so true, though. I mean, I think that that's actually a really good point, that, now's the time. You've got to begin at some time. And I point out to people regularly, there's nothing wrong and there's everything right with contacting Steve and seeing if he can do something for you. So I recommend 888 Tax Deal. We've been talking, Steve was a sponsor over at the old station. He came on early, our first sponsor, and he's so committed to this process that he is our exclusive sponsor. And as I've said to you before, too, his work is of such quality that I'm really proud to consider him our exclusive sponsor. So I would get to Steve, and you're going to say, well, I don't have my act together, I don't have my receipts. Let Steve worry about that. 888 Tax Deal, 888 Tax Deal. Also on the web, MoskowitzLLP.com, MoskowitZ, MoskowitzLLP.com. Steve, I give you a big virtual hug, my friend, for the holidays.
I give it right back
here.
to both you and Jim, and it's my honor to be on your show. As you know, I've been your fan back since your Fox LA days.
So cool, bud. Thank you very much. Steve Moskowitz, everybody. Yeah.
We love you, Steve
We'll
Moskowitz.
talk to him next hour. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
The Mark Thompson Birthday Show.
That's Shadoe Stevens, and he was going to be here live. I think now he's got a little bit of a cold or something, so he can't be here. I love that everybody else is here live. Join us in the chat. You can text in whatever you want, and we will include it in the text. Somebody from Buffalo said that they have pictures of what's going on in Buffalo, New York. If you do, send them to us, themarkthompsonshow@gmail.com, and we'll try to get them on. themarkthompsonshow@gmail.com. The 25 people have lost their lives in this huge storm.
25 in New York, 55 though
Nationwide?
Nationwide due to the storm, yeah.
Wow. Really brutal. Really brutal. Kim will update all of that. We also have Mark's Murder Mystery Monday coming up. That's with Courtney, of course. And Tony, did you get all the stuff that she needs for Mark's Murder Mystery Monday?
Thanks, Tony.
Yeah? Okay, so we have the pictures and the story.
And the video, yes.
Okay, great.
Thanks, Tony.
Okay, so that's all happening just after Kim's news, bottom of the hour. Next hour, Kevin Pollak joins, and so there's a lot of fun still ahead. One of my favorite people, he's irascible. He's generally irritated. Irascible is a ding word.
Yeah.
He is a great comic. He connected with us for the birthday. Here's a taste of Bobby Slayton. It is a thrill to welcome this guy. I've got to say, he's the pit bull of comedy. I consider him one of the people who always elevates my mood, but I don't know why. He's Bobby Slayton, everyone. Favorite
well,
son.
I hope, I hope this works because, I kept moving around my hotel room because, I hate doing these things. Being near a router. I don't have a router. I don't have anything in my room here. I'm actually, but anyway, more importantly, happy birthday. I know this.
Thank you, Bobby.
Yeah. I know it's your big birthday show. Let me tell everybody, it's amazing. You send these texts out. Oh, it's my birthday. It's the worst birthday ever. Now, what does that mean, the worst birthday? Are you 60? Or are you hitting some milestone that you did not want to hit?
It's a year, yes, and yes is transition kind of year, but I also think it's just been one of those years where I feel as though there have been a lot of challenges. Our radio station, KGO, changed format. We brought everybody over here. Now you have to sort of pump constantly for contributions, and it's a weird thing. You're producing a whole show. You're trying to bring people together and keep it as a growing concern. It's just a lot of stuff going on, Bobby. It's just crazy.
Why are you yelling?
Anyway, yeah, okay. So
I'm sorry I asked. Holy Christ.
I know. Did you call to hear the litany of complaints or what?
When you say transition, does that mean you're going to turn into a woman? Is that what transition
not
means?
yet. Look, I'd take a meeting on anything right now if it'll bring us more subscribers to our. And Kim is a huge Bobby Slayton fan.
Kim, how are you?
It's true. She was very excited to know you'd be on today.
Yeah.
Where were you, Kim, when I was actually working?
I've been a fan since the early 90s on the Sean and Jeff show on Quad in Sacramento, when you used to come by our radio station to headline at the Punchline. And so I remember you in the studio just like taking zero issues with offending everyone. Equal opportunity offender, and I love that.
Well, I forgot about Sean and Jeff. They were kids. Are they still around? They grown up now? They still together? They still have the White Tiger?
They're off the radio, but sometimes I think they still get together and goof off on the weekends. Yeah.
Of course they do. They were like, it was like Beavis and Butthead of the radio world to me. They were very much like real life people. But more importantly, so getting back to Thompson and his birthday, so I get this email, these texts, and these calls. Oh, it's my birthday. I'm getting older. It's the worst birthday ever. I want to get it over with. Yet he's having a birthday show. He wants people over for his birthday party for cake. He's texting everybody. How about taking me out for dinner for my birthday? Hey, look,
I don't send out texts that say take me out for dinner for my birthday. Come on.
Are you a birthday beggar? Is that what you are?
I am not a birthday beggar. No.
No. But Mark did say, you and your girlfriend, we should go out for a birthday dinner. Who's going out for somebody's birthday dinner and not buying him dinner? I mean, he didn't say buy me dinner for my birthday.
No, I can make the argument that we should buy. I had a great birthday dinner with Slayton, and we sit at that place in Hollywood. We sit under, was it your picture or something you'd signed, or what was the story?
Rayos,
yeah, yes. At Rayos. Where were we sitting? Something under some bit of memorabilia that you were connected to.
Probably my picture. I don't know. They have my picture. They don't have my picture in a lot of places. Even the car wash wanted a picture. They have everybody who's ever been in showbiz. They didn't even put my picture up. I'm so out of showbiz. I couldn't get the dry cleaner to put up my picture or the car wash. But meanwhile, more importantly, so you did say it's the worst thing. I don't want to have a birthday. Yet you say having a birthday show. You're having people out to celebrate your birthday. You're having people out to congratulate you on your birthday. You sent me a text to invite me over for cake and vegan pizza. That's a little treat.
I did not say vegan pizza. All right, I said pizza, but not vegan pizza.
That's a party.
All of you guys who you just can't help but dump on the vegans. I get it, so I don't try to give you an open. I've got food for you, and then I got food for us people who are vegans. But
you know what? My daughter's coming to my girlfriend's house for Christmas, and she's having all these friends and family over, and everybody, she's putting out a whole big spread, bagels and lox and all kinds of food, and then of course she's got to get something special for my daughter because she's one of these zombie vegan people, and so now we have to make a special trim and special silverware that's never touched a piece of butter, and you have all these rules.
It's like being kosher or something, probably. You know what I mean? It's not a big deal. You just, whatever. I love that your daughter.
Yes.
Listen,
I love that your daughter's a person of conscience, Bobby. That makes me feel good.
And let me tell you something. Even though I'm a Jew, being kosher is just as stupid as being a vegan. I can't imagine a kosher vegan. What the hell do these morons eat? But But meanwhile, I do want to remind you that everybody has a birthday. It's nothing special. It's not like you won a Heisman Trophy or an Emmy.
Thank you.
Hey, let's go out for dinner to celebrate my Academy Award. It's my birthday. It's a million birthdays all around the tour. There'll be more people's birthdays the day after that, the day after that. So we're all miserable. You're not alone in this nightmare.
Thank you for that sentiment. Yeah, thank you for that sentiment.
Yeah, sure. I'm trying to make it feel better.
You gotta be great. You must be great at a memorial service, huh?
It's
That's
your
just
birthday.
great.
You're not special.
Hey, there were a lot of people who've lived here. I'm not saying this guy, he was great, but come on, he wasn't like the greatest thing ever. Let's wrap this thing up and get to the reception. Where are you? You're in a hotel room.
I'm in my girlfriend, as you know, has a beautiful store here in Palm Desert, an art and jewelry emporium. So I'm here in Palm Desert in a hotel room. That's why I told you I have no control. You got to be near a router. If you're on an iPad, I have no router. I have no control over the internet. And believe it or not, when I was talking to you, I was sitting in a big comfy chair in the living room, and it wasn't coming through. So right now, I'm on my knees with okay, let me finish. My iPad is on a pool table. We have a billiard table in our room.
Wow.
Fancy.
Look at you.
I don't play pool anymore, but I'm leaning on a pool table. And I'll tell you what's great for a pool table if you don't play pool. When you're in a hotel room, you can lay all your clothes out on the pool table. It's nice. So you don't have to, if there's no room in the closet, because my girlfriend took up the whole closet. So I would turn my phone around and I would show you the pool table. But
I love just that you're on your knees for my birthday. I consider it a special thing. Yeah.
I can't believe. I don't want to. There's my. I can't really show it to you. It doesn't. Yeah, I don't want to mess around with the
It's pretty cool that. What is that? An Airbnb or is it a hotel? It's a hotel with a pool table in the room. Gosh, he likes to live large. Bobby Slayton, Kim.
Yeah,
he
we
really
gotta
does.
stay with him.
We had a room, and I didn't want a connecting room because every time I'm in a connecting room, there's always somebody smoking a cigar or killing a hooker. Yeah. It's always noisy. There's always something going on that I don't want to be part of. So they said, well, if you want to wait for a room, I said, well, I'm not in any hurry. I'm going to go walk around. They said, well, we do have the billiard suite, and I go, what is that? They go, well, it's a suite, and there's a big pool table in the living room. I said, fine, and then we can recreate that famous scene. What was it when the guy was having sex with a woman on a pool table?
I don't know. Every porno ever made or what? No, I don't know the one you're talking about.
Yeah. I used to do a joke about that, by the way. There was, I don't know if it's really for your show, but there was a woman who was attacked by a guy.
Oh, that's, go ahead.
On a pool table for rape, and I said, well, I think it was a legal shot because he had 1 foot on the floor.
Oh no, that is just that'll get you banned. You see, I mean, I'm begging.
You can't do jokes like that anymore.
Yeah,
that's
you
why I
cannot.
retired.
You either love Bobby Slayton or you don't. I find myself to be a lover. So
yeah, he's pretty terrific.
Yeah, well,
go ahead.
Well, where were you, Kim, when I needed you? When I was actually working, it doesn't do you any good now. But thank you. I appreciate it.
You're still doing some shows, and just a couple of before COVID, I think it was. He was with Bill Maher on that big Hawaiian tour. Sarah Silverman was there. I think I want to say Joe Walsh or some other big rock and roller was there with you, right?
Oh boy, yeah, that was my last big show. I went out.
It was great, man. I mean, look, you still throw the heat. You just decided you want to just sit in the dugout now, but you can still get out there on the field and throw the heat. Bobby, go ahead.
We get off. Yeah, I know. So what were you going to say? I'm sure it wasn't important, but what?
I was just going to say thank you for coming through. I know there's a lot to manage here, and the thought of you having to ultimately get on your knees and put some device on a.
I couldn't get my iPad to work. I'm on my knees on a pool table in a hotel. I'm missing. I got to go out and drink and eat, and this is killing my day.
Okay, all right. Thank
you. I'm going out to celebrate your birthday now without you, which I think is
Thank you. What warm sentiments. Thank you.
And let me mention, if I don't see you for a while, my birthday's in May. We can get together then, and you can buy me a birthday lunch.
I would love to buy you a birthday meal. All right. Okay. Bobby, love you. Bobby Slayton, everyone.
Thank you, Slayton. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay.
Thanks, Bobby. Bye-bye. Yeah.
Bye. And Christmas was great, but it's over. And now it's the Mark Thompson birthday show.
Yeah, it is. What up, everybody? What up? All my rowdy friends ones are coming through. Kim, will you take a turbo newscast? Because I've got Josh Mankiewicz from Dateline NBC waiting.
I sure will.
And Courtney's going to join as well. We've got Mark's Murder Mystery Monday, because it's my birthday. Josh is joining, which is really exciting. And apparently, it's a murder mystery that was featured on Dateline. Isn't that right, Courtney? It was featured on Dateline. So Josh is standing by. So we'll take a brief news break, and then we'll hop on to Mark's Murder Mystery Monday. So thank you for being here. Hey, smash the like button if you would. If you're watching in replay or whatever, hit the like button. I know it's the holidays and viewership is down and all that sort of thing, but we are here live for you to provide a little fun, a little stuff of interest, some information. We'll be here all week. You know, we were working the ramp up to Christmas. We're working the ramp up to New Year's, and we appreciate you being here. And if you find it in your heart to support this show, to keep the lights on, go to themarkthompsonshow.com, hit contribute, and you can become a patron of the show, or you can just make a one-time donation at PayPal. Themarkthompsonshow.com. YouTube has demonetized us for the moment. It may be a while. I was doing the back and forth over Christmas with them. So that's the only way you can help us, is to contribute through PayPal. Themarkthompsonshow.com. Great to have you here. Thank you for being part of the birthday show.
The Mark Thompson Show.
On the Mark Thompson Show Birthday Edition, I'm Kim McAllister. This report sponsored by tax attorney Steve Moskowitz at 888 Tax Deal. I have some pictures to go along with the stories today, Mark. I'm doing it a little differently. You've heard about the big storm causing flight delays across the country. Well, unfortunately, it has also led to a lot of people being injured, hurt, stuck in their homes, and we now know at least 55 people have died because of this brutal winter storm, which slammed into communities across the country over the holiday weekend. Many people buried in the snow. At least 25 people died alone in western New York. You can see here people trying to dig themselves out of all this snow. Consumers.
Are those the pictures that came to us from our Buffalo listener? I don't know if we have somebody in Buffalo send us a picture. Okay, we'll share those. Yeah. But yeah, it's brutal. This is the big blizzard. There was 1977. That was the historic blizzard. This, they say, is worse than that by a bunch. So there is still a no travel restriction that's been put. That is a no driving restriction. They're not allowed to drive on the streets there. I don't know if you mentioned that, but anyway, yeah, it's
I did
pretty
not mention
still.
that, but thank you for doing it.
Yeah.
Of course, after the big Christmas holiday, now it's the day to return everything, and consumers are projected to return more than $1.4 billion worth of holiday gifts this year. That, according to a new Salesforce report. The software company says it's a 57% increase over 2021. I wonder why. Why so many more returns this year? I don't know.
People are just generally more dissatisfied, you think, this year than years past?
I don't want it. More stuff.
Right.
Russian officials claim 3 of their service members are dead following a Ukrainian drone attack. Reports say the drone was shot down today by air defenses as it approached a military airfield in Russia's Saratov region, and that the servicemen were killed by the wreckage falling. Ukraine has not claimed responsibility for that attack. It's unclear if the man that President Biden chose to lead the FAA will actually ever assume the position. Biden tapped Denver International Airport CEO Philip Washington to lead the agency earlier this year, but he has yet to receive a confirmation due to concerns over his aviation experience and involvement in possibly a public corruption scandal. The president would need to renominate Washington next year, although it's not clear if he'll actually be doing that. And there are 4 national parks. If we can show, there's a national park. See a little pictures for you. I'm all excited. 4 national parks across Northern California and Southern Oregon banding together to make one annual pass. That starts January 1st of 2023. The Lassen Volcanic National Park, the Lava Beds National Monument, Whiskey Town National Recreation Area, and the Crater Lake National Park will honor one another's annual passes. Passes cost $55, and in 2024, all the parks will begin offering a single multi-park pass. So, see, Mark, you wanted to get out, see the national
That is great
parks of our
news.
country,
Yes, right.
and now here you go. And lastly, a story We haven't done stories from the sky, so I'm just going to throw a little one in here for you. Okay.
Okay.
There's a flight attendant who has found herself in we'll say a bit of a pickle, a little trouble with the law, Johnny Law. She apparently tried to board with a different type of carry-on, if you know what I'm saying.
No, I don't yet. What kind of carry-on?
Therese White of Dallas pleaded guilty last week to possession with the intent to distribute fentanyl. Back in October, apparently she attempted to fly out of San Diego International Airport with more than 3 pounds of that drug taped to her belly.
What?
Wow.
White tried to use her status as a flight
it's a wild idea, but it just might work.
Tried to use her status to get past the security checkpoint, but was forced into a regular passenger screening and told TSA agents that it was a mercury pack for a weight loss treatment. What?
It's all there, black and white, clear as crystal.
Yeah. Clear as crystal meth. Right.
She will be sentenced in March. She faces up to 20 years in prison. So,
wow.
Yeah. Don't be doing that kind of business.
Didn't work out. Didn't really work out.
What's a guilty pleasure you have?
I like to smuggle fentanyl, Larry.
I like to tape it to my belly.
Yeah, there you go.
This report sponsored by tax attorney Steve Moskowitz for more than 30 years. Steve has put his tax knowledge to work for everyone, businesses, individual, doesn't matter what. He'll help you out. Call Steve Moskowitz. It's 888-TAX.
He is the best. Yeah.
See at the bottom of your screen, you can spell it right out, MoskowitzLLP.com. Steve's there for you. And I'm Kim McAllister on The Mark Thompson Show.
They had to close down an entire radio station to silence him. And now, he's here. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Thompson. Happy birthday! It's happening again. The Mark Thompson Birthday Show.
Yeah. What up, everybody? Let's get right into it. It is Mark's Murder Mystery Monday. Kevin Pollak in the next hour. But this hour, Mark's Murder Mystery Monday does feature a special guest. I'd like to welcome him in now before we even hit the fancy open. He's Dateline NBC's Josh Mankiewicz. Yeah. And I'd look at you with the professional headphones, Dateline NBC's Josh Mankiewicz. You look very, very, very cool. And
Mark, happy birthday.
Yes, thank you.
I'm thrilled and known you for a very long time, and it's wonderful to be on celebrating your birthday with you. And I want to say that you and Kim have given me a wonderful idea, because starting today, when you say to me, "Gosh, looks like you've gained weight over the holidays," I'm going to say, no, I'm smuggling fentanyl.
It's just my side hustle.
I just got strapped to me. It's not.
Yeah. What, Tony? Why does Dateline NBC's Josh Mankiewicz sound choppy in his audio? Can you speak to that, please?
I'm hearing a doubling too. If it keeps up, maybe he just needs to drop and come back in.
Well, do you want to do that before we begin, or do you want to wait until?
Okay, you want to just basically leave the studio and then click on the link to come back in, because something's hiccuping somewhere.
Okay.
Thanks, Tony.
Yeah. All right, Tony on top of it.
Thanks, Tony.
Yeah.
This was not my fault. I'll take credit
Tony's
for the opening.
fault.
Thanks, Tony.
Courtney, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm well. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Look, I'm sure you have some huge party planned for my birthday. I know I don't want to interrupt the plan. But
well, much to what Bobby Slayton said. Actually, we have a whole day of activities and even something in the evening. So.
Oh, well, that's wow. That's terrific. You can't celebrate long enough, I think.
No, we've been preparing for months.
Yeah.
So.
Love that everybody's joined the chat. You can do that on YouTube. You can jump right in. By the way, if you're watching in replay, you can still hit the like button, the thumbs up. And there's Josh Mankiewicz back. And you can also, in replay, you can leave us a comment. So I want you to feel, included in that way as well. So now, is this better, Tony? What do you think? Josh, can you tell us?
1, 2, 3, hello. Is any better?
Doesn't sound much better. What is the problem, Tony?
I don't know.
God.
Think about my settings here.
Is that because of the is that internet related, or what is that, Tony?
Thinking
do I want no cancellation?
keep in mind this is spoiling my birthday. Yeah. All right.
How about
wow,
now?
it's
Try
really
talking now.
early in the day.
Try talking now, Josh.
It's any better, kids?
Oh, it's better.
It's like slightly better. All right. Well, you want to just?
I'm even
It sounds
using
better.
I'm using the fancy microphone that
I
you
know.
gave me.
No, believe me, I've got thousands of dollars worth of rig around here, and I still can't get anything to work. So I don't know. All right, let's
Welcome to Mark's Murder Mystery Monday.
Yeah, and featured in Mark's Murder Mystery Monday is, as I said, Dateline NBC's Josh Mankiewicz, who's in the business of featuring murder mysteries, and Courtney, who is the aficionado, civilian, both fan and a little amateur sleuth. What do you have for us today, Courtney? And Josh will chime in at times if his signal is strong enough. Go ahead.
Yeah, finally a professional is here. So, we have Josh helping me out.
Yeah.
And he was so generous to offer to come on. And actually, we chatted about what case to do. And this is a case that Josh covered on Dateline. So when I was researching for it, I was able to watch and listen to the Dateline episode. So.
Oh, wow. Oh, so this is
This
cool.
is one of my sources. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Great. So you have one of your sources with you in this presentation.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
And this is the case of Sherry Daly. And so Sherry Daly is a young mother of two who disappears while she's out shopping. And May 6, 1996, a woman is arrested in a Target parking lot in Ventura, California. And she believes she's being arrested because of her husband's drug use. But she's in fact being kidnapped by a disguised person. And the woman who's being kidnapped, who thinks she's being arrested, is Sherry Daly, wife of Michael and mom to two boys, Devin and Max Daly.
Wow.
Yes.
So she was taken by someone who represented themselves as a police officer.
Yeah, this is a mom in Ventura. This happened in 1996. She doesn't turn. She had a daycare thing, and she didn't turn up hits, and so people looking for her, and they found a man in the parking lot where she always go on that day, and somebody said, "Oh, well, the reason that she's not here is I started getting arrested. I started getting arrested and put in a car by a female detective, and only later did it turn out that this other woman, who was a girlfriend of her husband at work, had rent a car, bought a business, put on a lot of makeup, got a bag and some handcuffs." And some and convinced Sherry Daly that she was being arrested. And
by the way, this is Michael Daly that we're seeing the picture of.
This is Michael Daly, known as Hawaiian Mike in high school.
Hawaiian Mike.
Although he was not, in fact, anyway Hawaiian. And
that's true.
Courtney and I were talking in the other and I know that Michael Shore, who's a regular guest on this show, would agree with me on this, which is, the best nicknames are nicknames that don't have anything to do with your actual name. Like if your name is like Larry Smith and you're no Smitty, well, okay, not great. If your name is Larry Smith and you're known as like Chainsaw, right? You got a whole other issue, right?
It's true.
So Hawaiian Mike, who wasn't Hawaiian. And he was like the guy who drove the Hemi in school. He had a car, he had a money car or something like that. And he was that guy. And
he was married to Sherry.
And they were high school sweethearts. He was big man campus. She was crazy about it.
It was the best of times.
It was. And later, after his girlfriend pretended to be a cop, did her and killed her, it was the worst of times. And,
now, Tony, I want to just Tony, if I can ask, if Josh reconnected on Safari or something, would that be better? A different browser?
Well,
because he's choppy as hell.
Not good, huh?
You're choppy as hell.
Doubling. It's kind of like playing you then playing you again. So we're just getting like this weird play. It's like that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tony.
Yeah, can you?
What browser are you using right now?
Yeah, what browser are you using, Joe?
Oh well, Yeah, if you have Firefox, maybe try that, or maybe.
Sure.
Do you have Firefox, Josh?
Are you on a Mac?
I'm on a Mac.
Yeah, we could try Safari then.
Okay.
See if that works.
Safari. I'll try Safari because Josh is a key part of this.
Thanks, Tony.
Right,
and
goodbye.
I just we're gonna take a pause here. This is very consistent with
the general production of the show.
Yes. Well,
I think it's going to work because that's what happened to me. That's why I was cutting out. So I have a good feeling about it. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Throw more time. I can't throw more effort. I can't throw more finances at this show. And still, it's
Thanks, Tony.
I just don't. So I'm pinning the meter in terms of my ability.
I feel like I'm invested in the story at this point, and I need to see it through.
Well, it's Albert's fault.
Whoever is producing this thing has no idea what they're doing.
I was waiting for it, Mark.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. So,
oh my goodness! No, it's a good story, and we have Josh. I mean, what better source?
I know it is an embarrassment of riches.
Yeah, it really is.
Is his headset on mic on too? Two microphones doubling sound. Oh, I don't know about that. That's interesting. Everybody is.
Who doesn't want twice as much Josh?
It didn't sound like that, but
no, because StreamYard, you're telling it. Yeah, we're getting inside the weeds, but you're telling StreamYard where to pull from. So,
oh my God, poor Josh.
That problem.
Josh is so nice to come on with us.
I know.
Have Mank develop a CSI California and have Courtney star in it.
Oh,
says Josh.
There's already a CSI LA.
I'm in.
It's a wild idea, but it just might work.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to try it again. Hi, Josh. Sorry about that.
I couldn't make it work, and I.
That's good, actually.
That's
that sounds
great.
good.
Yeah.
Oh,
that sounds great.
Okay.
Thanks, Tony.
Okay, so back to the story. So they were married, high school sweethearts. He had a Hummer. He was kind of the big man on campus, is what you're suggesting.
Yeah.
And
he had a muscle car.
Yeah. He had.
Go ahead, Courtney.
No, he had a muscle car, and he would like drive around the high school, and like he was like the big man on campus.
And she married him.
Yeah.
Okay, there they are together.
There they are in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sherry and Michael Daly, and again, she was abducted in the parking lot by this.
For a long time, they didn't know where she was, and everybody believed that she had been arrested. Because this woman who put her in the car looked like a cop. I mean, looked like a cop in a TV show. Like she had a business suit on, and she, maybe had aviator glasses or something, and she had a wig. And so, Sherry knew what her husband's girlfriend looked like, and this woman was able to disguise herself well enough that Sherry was fooled, and she got in the car. And police believe that whatever happened right after that in the car. The car was returned the next day. It had a broken mirror inside the car. The driver's mirror was broken, and there was some blood in the car.
Yeah, if you go down, Tony, I have a picture of the blood. I've rented cars and turned them in with full gas tanks.
Yes.
And I've got, and then I've met my minimum requirements of turning it in. I can't imagine turning this car in with this giant blood stain.
Yeah, you'd think
and
it
it's
would have
somehow
done
passing. Yeah, it didn't flag anybody's concern that there was a huge blood stain in the back of the car. And in fact, they had to fix the mirror. So there was at least somebody in the car doing something after it was returned. Yeah.
So can take us through the investigation and take us through what happened. So that's the car.
Yeah, she rented that car so she could look more official. And she wore a tan pantsuit so she could look more official with her blonde wig, which is maybe a bad decision. But so she's missing, and Michael goes looking for her, and a lot of the community goes looking for her. And he's also doing some weird stuff, right? Like, you can correct me, Josh, but he's taking to get his jet skis fixed from some trip he was on with his girlfriend. If you go down, Tony, I think we have a picture of his girlfriend. And he's like, he's at his girlfriend's house, so he's not really taking it seriously.
There was a closet relationship, the girlfriend.
Right?
Well, it wasn't really, because it was apparent to everybody at work, and his wife knew about it. She knew they were having trouble, and knew that this woman, whose name is Diana Hahn, was involved with her husband. And, one of the interesting and sort of cold-blooded things about this is that when his wife was missing and Hawaiian Mike claimed to not know where she was, he just went right on living his life. Like he was out having fun, and he wasn't joining in the searches for her. And police found him at his girlfriend's house. She did not have an alibi. She had some scratches, I think, and said that she had fallen in a bike accident right around the time that the wife went missing. And the interesting thing was that when the cops started picking up signs that this woman had been arrested, that Sherry had been arrested in the Target parking lot, I said to the cops, like, isn't there some way of checking whether she's in custody, like some master list? And the cop's like, yeah, you'd think that would be a good idea. But he goes, but actually, there's all these different jurisdictions. There's, LA County and Ventura County and the feds and the DEA and the FBI. And like, it really wasn't clear what law enforcement agency might have her. So they made a lot of calls.
Wow.
And they couldn't find her. And only then did sort of signs start to emerge that maybe something was wrong. Like that car looks a little bit like a police car, but like the car of the car of choice at the time, that's a Nissan Altima, right?
Yes, yeah.
That was not being used as a police car back then. It is a four-door sedan, but the Crown Vic was the police car of choice back in 1996. And also, the more interesting thing was somebody had been taken into custody, and except that this detective was working alone, and that probably would not happen. You probably would not be making an arrest. A female detective would not be making an arrest by herself. There would be some partner or somebody there to back her up, or some uniforms or something like that. So that all made people think this was weird.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
A lot of things are pointing toward right.
And she's buying everything, Josh, right? Like days before this happened. It wasn't like weeks.
Right. I mean, it wasn't hard to find that Diana Hahn had gone shopping for almost all of the things that you would need if you were going to fake abduct somebody.
Yeah.
Diana Hahn worked with...
That's her, Diana Hahn. Okay.
Diana Hahn worked with Mike Daly at where?
At Vaughn's.
At Vaughn's.
Vaughn's. That's cool.
Mike was some kind of manager there, and he was putting his signature on some delivery form at almost exactly the minute that Sherry was being put in the car. And that was not accidental, police later concluded, that he had set this up so that he would have an ironclad alibi as to where he was and what he was doing, and that whatever happened to Sherry, it wasn't him, because he knew he was going to be the suspect, which is a sort of decision that it's a decision that murderers have to make, which is, are you going to try to get away with this because you will never be suspected? Or do you know that you will be suspected, but you're going to try to get away from it because they won't be able to build a case against you?
Oh,
and
that
was the direction that Mike Daly was going in.
So what happened, Courtney?
So the people searching come upon a woman's shoe and sunglasses at the edge of a canyon in Ventura, just in the sort of outskirts of Ventura on Canada Larga Road. And eventually down into a ravine, they find the remains of Sherry Daly. And so through dental records, they identify her. And it's determined that she died of being a beating and stabbing. And Diana Hahn had bought an axe along with her pantsuit and her wig just the day prior. So they were able to connect that back to the axe that Diana Hahn had bought.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, then it was a question of scooping up Diana Hahn. Is that the case closed, or what happened?
Well, they were pretty
okay.
convinced that the husband had put her up to it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And so the cops, what do? They pinch her. They wrap her up. They put the cuffs on her. What's the term, Josh, that they use?
They popped her.
They popped her. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah. So they popped her.
They do. They arrest Diana Hahn and
the husband,
Michael Daly.
Right.
Yeah.
Daly.
Daly.
So it was the husband, as it is so many times, with the help of the girlfriend in this case.
Yeah.
With a proxy. And there was
the defense.
There was one detail. I got to put this in. There was one detail that since we didn't have a picture of, we didn't spend a lot of time on in the Dateline story, but we did talk about it, which was even when Mike was still living with his wife, because I think they'd split up, but then got back together again, as I recall. Diana had made him a pillow, and the pillow had her face on it, Diana's face on it.
Yeah.
And Mike insisted on having that pillow in bed with him and his wife after he reconciled with his wife, so that there were almost literally 3 people in that bed.
Oh my God!
2 actual people, and
Yeah.
one there was the Diana's face on a pillow.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, in the bed.
Yeah, exactly.
In the bed.
What?
True.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
true.
the people who were trying to reconcile.
To be
So,
fair, they're all good-looking people.
I mean,
so
yeah.
Nice to have them.
It's a
all
lot
there
of
in
red
there.
flags she ignored.
Well,
So
it shows you what Sherry Daly was willing to put up with and overlook.
Oh yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
point.
Perhaps
Yeah.
foolishly, because she wanted to keep her family together.
So tell me, ultimately, then, how did the sentencing go? How did the jury decide this? What happened in this case, Courtney?
they were both found guilty, and they both are serving life sentences. So
And
Diana.
the defense, tell them about the defense.
Yeah, what was the defense?
Well, I'll start with Michael Daly. It's fun. His defense attorney said, quote, "He is not a good person just because he frequents prostitutes, just because he smoked rock cocaine, and just because he did not treat his wife the way she should be treated
Wow.
does not make him a murderer,"
Wow.
which is a really interesting defense.
Yeah.
If you get it in order, you get extra points.
Yeah, what is
And,
this? Rock
It was very
cocaine.
difficult to make a claim to the jury, which is my client is a loathsome, horrible person, right? But not a murderer.
Really, exactly.
Oh,
I
that's
mean,
just too good.
But that pales before Diana Hahn's defense.
yes, which was that her attorney made the case that she could not have killed anyone because she was a vegetarian.
Oh my God, that's funny. That's
and
very
actually,
funny.
Mark, she had part of her defense was that she had put together this master plan to provide a human sacrifice for Michael on his birthday.
Right.
Oh.
And so I'm just saying, your
Well.
birthday present, a little less ambitious. Yeah. Yeah. A little less.
I want to thank you both for providing the details of this bizarre story to
Mark,
us.
we're here because we love you.
We
Yeah.
On
do.
your birthday.
Thank you.
Also, I think Courtney is contractually obligated to be here.
Yes.
Yes, well,
Also,
it's
I
not
live in
right.
the
It's
same
not
house.
completely is right. It's sort of, there are some other reasons. Josh, we love you back, and
Happy
thank you for
birthday.
being
Yay,
here.
thank you,
Dateline
Josh.
NBC's Josh Mankiewicz, everybody.
Yay.
Right, that's a loud bit of applause. And Courtney.
Mark's Murder Mystery Monday on the Mark Thompson Show.
Will you return next Monday with another offering, Courtney?
I'll be back on Monday with the new
All right,
murder.
Courtney, everybody.
So I'm
Very,
taking
very cool.
suggestions as well. So,
Oh,
but
you can-
thank you for having me.
Of course.
And happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Well, thank you very much,
Mm-hmm.
Courtney.
course.
I am, again, if you want to reach us, it's the Mark Thompson Show at gmail.com. Very, very cool. Love it.
It's happening again. The Mark Thompson Birthday Show.
Yeah, oh my gosh, it's overwhelming. You know it. Thanks for all the love in the chat. Thanks for everybody who is contributing today. You know, we got to hustle you for financial support because we're trying to keep the lights on and keep everybody employed from the old radio station. We do our best we can. But today it's mostly celebration. And so we have the crew. We've got
Albert, thank you.
Albert is on board. Had a great weekend with the Niners having won. And we have Tony, who is
Thanks, Tony.
yes, you know, kind of stop-gapping stuff. Well, you know, as we bleed out, Tony's like he's like the you know those medics that handle things in war. That's what you are, Tony. You know, we go,
Triage
gotta get
out
over
the
here. Yeah,
field,
that's right. Yeah,
just parts everywhere.
Yeah, bleeding out. Bring
got
a
a bleeder.
clamp.
Thanks, Tony.
Yeah.
Just more
And of course,
morphine.
Kim is the class act.
how are you?
Yeah, she is the lovely news person. We've been talking about what's happening in Buffalo. Kevin Pollak joins any moment now. I will say that having lived in Buffalo, Kevin's in the green room, I think, right? Here he is. Yeah, I see him now.
He's here, Kevin. Standing by.
Very, very cool. All right, then I'm not going to bother with my lame fill that I was going to do about working and living in Buffalo and the storm. I'm just going to welcome him now. Look, if you're a Bay Area person, You know this guy, this kid born in the city, I think raised in the South Bay. How about it for Kevin Pollak, everybody?
Yeah.
Please be seated. Thank you.
Yeah. You know what I learned the last time you were on? I mean, obviously your credits are, I don't need to go through them all, but I couldn't even. There wouldn't be enough time. A Few Good Men, of course, I think was an explosive role but of course, as a comedian, you'd already achieved some huge things. And then Usual Suspects, I think, was another one of those incredible performances and incredible ensemble cast. And you've got great stories from that. And I know in your live act, you even tell some stories, or in podcasts, you've told a bunch. Casino, I loved you in that. I don't think there's anything you've done that I didn't think was really a home run on your part. Sometimes I know you can end up in things that you thought would be better or whatever. You've always really hit the ball hard. Recently. Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, everybody, come on.
Please be seated. Thank you.
And Willow, everybody. You thought it was done. You thought Willow was done after the feature. How long ago was Willow, the feature, the Ron Howard movie? How long ago was that done?
35 years.
Okay, and now they've just brought it back, and it's a hit. It's a hit. Where can we see you in Willow, Kevin? Where is it? I haven't seen it yet, the TV series.
That's quite all right. I'll come by the house and put it up for you. It's on what they call Disney Plus.
Oh yeah, Disney Plus, everybody. How about it for Disney Plus? Okay,
don't look for Disney Minus. Apparently, there's not a lot of programming content there.
Right. Yeah, you really want the plus. Yeah. Willow is timeless, says Huge in Japan. How about that? Well, Kevin, how about it? You that's your latest, and
yeah.
I mean, however, you couldn't have expected that. That's just wild that it's come back after all this time.
You wait 34 years for an email. Long before emails existed, you think someday an email is going to come and people say, what's an email? 34 years ago when the email came anyways, and now 35 years. Jonathan Kasdan, the show's series creator, grew up at that perfect age where when the movie came out, it was his entire universe. Michael Zegan, who plays my son on the aforementioned Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, is also of that age. And when we worked on Maisel, he's just obsessed and can quote every line. And he also now is loving this series. I'm only in one episode, spoiler alert. But I was just shocked to be in it at all. It's pretty remarkable.
That's really terrific. I was going to say and mention something that's Bay Area specific. First of all, Kevin's a huge, Giants fan, Niners fan, all the rest. Niners, I mean, this is a Cinderella kind of season in a sense, right? You keep losing, we lose quarterbacks. We lose this guy. We lose Trey, as I like to pretend I know, my first name basis. Then the guy, Jimmy G, who had stink on him, all of a sudden becomes the savior. Then he goes down and we start, wringing our hand. And then Purdy comes up.
Mr. Irrelevant?
Mr. Irrelevant. By the way, Kevin, you agree with me? Bad last name, best first name. Brock is the best first name, right?
I mean, first of all, yes, Brock is a superstar quarterback name.
Right, that's right. Okay.
For sure.
Not a good name for like a rabbi or something. No. Okay, sorry, you speak. Go ahead.
Brock Weissman, one of the great rabbis in St. Louis. And can throw downfield as a rabbi.
Yeah.
You don't see it coming. It's listen, one of my favorite images was in the game before, I guess it was against Seattle, on the sidelines after Brock had scored yet again. He was standing there talking to, I think, Shanahan, and Trey Lance was over Brock's left shoulder. I mean, this camera angle was just kind of so prophetic in the sense that Trey's looking on as Brock is having his career right in front of him.
Right.
And
that's exactly right. Wow.
In this image, you just see Trey watching Brock's fantasies come true, and listen, they're stepping up in a moment of opportunity, and that's what Brock represents. He's the poster child now for that very thing, and it's pretty remarkable. Yeah. Completely
I love that what you just said, which is having he's having the career that Trey was supposed to have. I mean, he's having the season that Trey was supposed to have, where you are given the opportunity and you step up. And I kind of feel, to do a hosty thing and to tie it to you, I feel as though that's sort of what's happened at times, like inflection moments in your career. I mean, you've had a great run that continues to, you may be as hot as ever with all of these different projects that I've talked about, but you had to have the goods when Scorsese called, for example. I mean, these are great opportunities, but you really have to hit the ball at that moment. Same with Usual Suspects. Same with these different things that are kind of tent poles throughout your career.
Yes, I have been very fortunate to do a number of movies. I don't know the exact number in 91, but I will say that.
Yeah.
She says from the guest room.
Yeah.
91 movies. Wow.
What?
That's what the internet tells me.
Wow.
Yeah. Thank goodness there's a algorithm keeping track of things for us. Yeah, there's no question. When you do have these opportunities, you do need, what is that? The luck meeting is opportunity meeting expertise or talent or I came up as a stand-up. I put in probably 15 years of stand-up on stage before I had to learn how to audition down in Los Angeles. And
by the way, when you say that, like, what is there a premium on in auditioning that really isn't necessarily a premium thing as a performer, like when you actually get the job?
Yeah. So the weirdest part was just saying other people's words, over the years, because I started and have done stand-up now over 40 years. When I've been asked to do a play, Broadway, the idea of sharing stage with all those people just holds no interest for me. When you've held that stage by yourself.
Yeah. Who are these other people? Right.
Yeah. Why are they also getting response and applause? Yeah. So you do have to learn to not only say other people's words, but to figure out what's in the writer's mind in terms of what the performance should be. And then in a 3-minute opportunity in the audition room, I put a book out a dozen years ago or so called How I Slept My Way to the Middle. And I talk a lot about, I don't think I could use that title today. I just realized, hashtag canceled. So I talk about how the audition process is sort of designed to fail. When I've directed now, I much prefer picking up the phone and offering parts to people, because when you bring an actor in, they're so nervous. They're not representing the sort of confidence they will have on the set when they're acting in your film. And so you're almost getting 180 degree from the very essence of a performance in the audition than you're going to get in front of the camera. So you really do have to learn. I've seen Michael Keaton and recently I think Bryan Cranston talk about making that turn during the auditioning process when you realize I used to think of the audition as this threat to my happiness. I better nail this or it's all going to go to hell, versus the realization of, this is what I do. This is my job. I prepare and I go to that office, into that room for those people. Now you put yourself on camera, I suppose. But part of my job is to act in these moments.
Oh, that's interesting.
And not hold my career up for ransom in this singular so-called alleged opportunity, but rather this is part of my job. I audition. That's what it is. Thankfully, A Few Good Men came out 30 years ago, and I've been getting offers since. Although my co-star in Mrs. Maisel, Tony Shalhoub, insists that he's audition only.
So that's in Hollywood they say I'm offer only, meaning I don't audition, right? I'm audition only.
Yeah, he refuses to accept offers.
That's very funny.
Yeah. Speaking of which, the 5th and final season, I guess, will be out sometime in the spring. We haven't been told when the final season of Mrs. Maisel will drop. But we're very, very.
I don't know
excited.
what series they had that was as big a hit as Maisel before Maisel. I can't think of anything that was as big on Amazon as Maisel. It's incredible. It's a phenomenon, and it's international too, isn't it, Kevin?
Well, because it's worldwide, our fourth season dropped a year ago, spring, or the spring of 22, and I guess February. But we garnered 500 million views a week.
Wow.
Because it's global, because it's international. When we did press, we spoke to different countries. And for example, India had 6 different press outlets during the press junket because, as we were told, we're the biggest American export in entertainment to India.
Wow.
In history.
Wow.
Yeah. I guess it's maybe the Bollywood connection because there are some similarities of a musical nature, of wardrobe, and
yeah, I see that. Now that you say it, I see that. Right. Some overlap.
And as they insisted, the family connection also is very, very big in Bollywood.
Right.
Anywho, so to be a part of that ridiculous international phenomenon, you're right. It is a truly sort of ridiculous thing. It is winning the lottery of one's career when one of those kind of jobs comes along. I've got a movie coming out in the new year called Sweetwater, about Nate Clifton Sweetwater, considered by many the Jackie Robinson of the NBA. In 1950, there were 3 African-American players who entered the NBA. So they don't pin the Jackie Robinson on any one player, but Sweetwater sort of came forward because he came from the Harlem Globetrotters and had the most, I guess, popularity and success. I play Abe Saperstein, who created, coached, and owned the Harlem Globetrotters starting in 1926. This movie starts in 49. So that's something to look forward to in the new year.
So when you had to go to school on Saperstein and who he was and the backstory, I mean, there's a lot to learn, right?
Oh gosh, yeah. You can drill down because there's so much available through history, and what a character! What an absolute amazing character! And there's some other great actors, Cary Elwes and Richard Dreyfuss and Jeremy Piven. There's all kinds of cool people.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
I want to ask you if you would hang for a minute. I want to check in with our sponsor real quick, but if you would hang out for a second, I want to ask you about a photo I saw, a recent photo. With you and a bunch of other people, all of whom I think the listeners and viewers would know. But I want to ask you about this. Well, I'll tell you about the photo.
Great tease, just a tremendous tease.
When we come, it's what I do, Kevin. Really, I tell you. All right. So more with Kevin Pollak as we continue. Smash the like button for Kevin Pollak, and more as we continue.
The Mark Thompson Show.
On my birthday, it's so cool to have Steve Moskowitz in the mix. Wow. Yeah.
Happy birthday, Mark.
Thanks, pal.
And
really.
Enjoy your 35th year.
Thank you very much. Hey, Steve Moskowitz, it's here at the end of the year. I can still take advantage of things if I've been dinged by COVID with ERC, right? That's still government money that's there.
Absolutely. And
so the sun hasn't set on that. Okay. Yeah.
For the federal government to give you, they're giving away the money. It's not a loan. They're giving away up to $26,000 for every employee that you had in 2020 and 2021 that qualifies. There's 2 different ways to qualify. The easy way, that's a certain drop in gross revenue. But tragically, there's so many firms, so many CPAs that are just doing the easy way. They're mass producing this. And if your gross revenue didn't drop it, that's it, no ERC for you. But there's another way, because the law specifically says either or. The other way is more complex. Sometimes we have to meet with the client 2-3 times to determine, do they qualify? But if they do, you get just as much money. And Mark, you and I know recently 3 different cases we had where the CPAs turned away and said, your gross revenue didn't go down, but one client qualified for $100,000 because the CPA said it was too much trouble for her. Again, too much trouble to get $100,000 for somebody else. And then there was the one where the guy left $1 million on the table because the CPA didn't seem to know about it. And the other one where he left $1.5 million. Now, I realize those are dramatic numbers and not everybody qualifies. but a lot of people do qualify, even though they didn't have the drop in gross revenue. That is the big deal, and that's the crying shame, because if you don't ask for it, you're not going to get it. And how would you feel if you left God knows how much money on the table because somebody that you trusted either didn't know about the other method or it was just too much trouble for them?
Yeah, and I think you make a good point. I mean, the numbers may vary in specific instances, but the reality is you don't know what you don't know. So you may think you don't qualify as a small business person, even as a sole proprietor, but you may very well qualify. So reach Steve here at the end of the year and throw the Hail Mary. I mean, it may indeed be something that you will get real government money. And it is a grant, not a loan, as he has labored to communicate time and time again. 888-TAX-DEAL, 888-TAX-DEAL, 888-TAX-DEAL. You can also reach Steve online, MoskowitzLLP.com, MoskowitzLLP.com, Moskowitz LLP.com. Steve Moskowitz. Steve, great seeing you, and thanks again for a great year, my friend.
Always a pleasure. Thanks, Mark.
All right, my friend. That's really, really cool. Love it.
I'm Shadoe Stevens, and Christmas was great, but it's over. And now, it's the Mark Thompson Birthday Show.
Yeah, it is, everybody. Smash the like button like a boss for Kevin Pollak.
Smash it with your iron rod.
Hit the thumbs up if you're watching in replay. I sometimes like to watch in replay, you know.
Smash it with your iron
If
rod.
you've got an iron rod, that's a great way to do it, but you don't have to do it with an iron rod. Anyway, thank you for being here. It is my birthday. There's a sense of ebullience about my birthday. Ebullience is a ding word, by the way. And Kevin Pollak is here. I will tell you that... by the way, I'm drinking a coffee out of a Kron mug, which I had when I was, I got this when back in the 80s.
That's very impressive. I'm drinking out of a Contigo, which I got
you got like an hour ago.
From John Hamm. It's not a competition, Mark.
I got from John Hamm, everybody. That is
well,
really
I will tell you
what?
this. So you've played in my weekly poker game on occasion, Mark. And so, and as do other celebrities. And so, this one time John Hamm played, and he was drinking out of this ridiculous travel mug the whole night, and he had to leave early. So as he got up to leave, somebody said, "So John, I got to ask, what is the deal with the travel mug thing? You didn't want to use one of Kevin's regular mugs?" So then he goes into almost a Don Draper pitch on why the Contigo is so superior with the double lock opportunities. And so impressive that everyone just applauds at the table when he gets done. The next day, giant package arrives, a Contigo for all the players.
Wow.
That is the class and consideration of a John Hamm.
Wow, that is really something, man. That is a great story. Wow.
It's the only reason I drink out of it on camera, so I can tell that story.
Well, we have, Kevin, I don't mean to, this isn't, it sounds like you're very happy with your Contigo, but this is the Mark Thompson tumbler, which is available. Yeah, the Mark Thompson Show tumbler is available, and it can, hot and cold beverages. I'm sure that yours is the same.
Damn attractive.
Yeah, and
just
this is brand
lacking
new.
that double locking mechanism.
Most of my viewers and listeners don't need a double locked, Kevin.
No.
I mean, one lock is enough. I'm just saying. That's at getmarkmerch.com. Yeah, and again, that logo is just it brings a certain magic to your life. And again, these are I just mentioned it. It was not my intent.
That's not the hydration system. That's just the tumbler, right?
That's right. The hydration system, Kevin, again, I don't want to bog our conversation down with these things that are available at getmarkmerch.com to help keep us on the air, all the funds. Yeah, too late. It is, a lot of people would call it a special water bottle, like specific to the show. But, there is all the stuff you can get. And Kevin, you know what I'm going to do? And I'm going to come in. I have to buy the stuff myself. That's how sad it is. Yeah. But I'm going to commit to giving you something from this website because I've hijacked this interview to look at that Mark Advanced Hydration System.
Yeah.
Wow. It's really something special.
I think that's what you want to send him. That's good.
No, it's maybe. Maybe. It sounds the reason I'm at all double clutching is he sounds pretty committed to this John Hamm thing he's got going.
Well, this is for hot coffee. The thing you just
Okay.
showed me looks like it's perfect for your ice water every day.
You know what? Done. I will get you one. Done. It is done. All right.
I'm not using that crap Contigo for cold water.
First, Kim, I think I learned this in our last conversation. And I've known Kevin for many years. I didn't know that Kevin, you'll correct me if I'm wrong, his uncle, Kim, started Tommy's Joint. You know Tommy's Joint on Geary?
Yeah, in the city, yeah.
Yeah. Is that right?
True?
Yeah.
He's one of the founders. I think there were 2 or 3 of them, but his name's on the side of the building still, or at least it was last time I drove past. Yeah, that was Al Pollak, sort of the godfather of the family. His son Jeffrey Pollak, quite the impresario, owned the boarding house before he sold it to Bill Graham. Julius's Castle, many venues.
Julius's Castle's cool.
Yeah. In fact, when Steve Martin recorded Let's Get Small at the boarding house, it was in fact owned by Jeffrey Pollak at the time.
No kidding.
Wow. A little family history in the city. Sure.
That is
That's
great.
cool.
I know then you were raised in South Bay, right? San Jose area?
Yeah, I was too young to put up any sort of argument. Much as I loved being a native son of San Francisco, the promise of the suburbs of San Jose, where in high school, of course, I met a young Dave Rigetti.
Yes.
Pioneer High School.
Wow. Was Dave Rigetti a phenom in high school? Must have been, right? Already.
We played center field, never pitched a ball.
No kidding.
Yep, and he was on a championship team all 3 years. And
tell everybody who Dave Rigetti is, please.
Well, arguably one of the greatest pitching coaches the San Francisco Giants have ever had, in the sense that when they won those 3 World Series in 10, 12, and 14, one would argue and win that debate. It was all about pitching, and he was, in fact, the pitching coach those years as well. I don't want to say that the pitching has gone downhill since Dave was shown the door, but again, that's another argument that one could make.
Well, and a great pitcher in his own right.
Perfect, a no-hitter with the Yankees too in his playing days.
He was
a no-hitter in his rookie season in 1983 on 4th of July.
Wow. Yeah, he was an unreal pitcher before he was a pitching coach. So this guy, and a lot of players who are insanely good as players cannot make the move to being pitching coaches or other sorts of coaches. They were great players, but they just don't have that move. But he was, as Kevin says, just outstanding as a coach and, largely responsible for that insane pitching program that took them through the World Series,
How does it work living in Los Angeles, surrounded by Dodger blue? Are you still a Giants fan? Do you proudly wear Giants gear, or do you get the boos when you walk out?
Well, fortunately, Dodger fans are the worst fans in the world. And so I'm quite comfortable walking around with all my 49ers and Giants gear. I don't go to Dodger Stadium, not just because it's the worst sports park in the world also, but because I hate them so very, very much. Like inexplicable. It's in my DNA. I can't even wrap my head around it myself. But even when I think the Giants are going to crush them, the idea of even the 49ers as well. I won't go to the new fancy SoFi Park, even though we own the Rams. What are we, 8-0 in regular season? The last 8 challenges.
Yeah, and it's completely red for every road game. It's basically another home game for us.
Yeah. But I won't go there just because when the Rams do anything positive for the fans to scream, if I have to see a Rams fan be happy, I'll pass out. I'll pass out from anger. So I can't even enjoy the upside of watching our team crush.
This is one of the great things about being Kevin Pollak, I think. He is aggressively a Giants fan, like in your face. If you're like, I'm super, me, I'm super polite, like a lot of rounded edges. I don't like any trouble. I don't want to offend anybody. Kevin is unapologetic. I'm a Giants fan. Off Dodgers. I don't even want to do an interview with you. You're the Dodgers station. Screw you. I mean, it was
no, I don't. I don't talk to him. But I can't deny the aggressive part. But I will say it's all verbal. It's all a lot of yelling and screaming. There's no physical confrontations.
No. And
not just because I'm a coward.
Okay. Kevin, I
have to say, I was just
go ahead,
Googling.
Kevin.
I just found an article.
Yes.
I'm gonna try to share this. You're on MLB.com. I don't know if you knew this. It says that you it's like it's a homecoming for a Giants fan is what it says. On MLB.com. They mean business. Yeah, homecoming for an old school Giants fan. So, even Major League Baseball is aware of this phenomenon.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. No, it's part of my profile.
He wrote that. He wrote that piece. Homecoming for an old school Giants fan.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yes, I certainly did.
It's funny.
It's kind of a disastrous off season though for Giants.
That was wild. That Correa thing though. You see that it also was falling apart for the Mets. Yeah. They had this big acquisition the Giants were going to do. Then because for medical reasons, they let this guy go. Carlos Correa is his name. He goes to the Mets, and they thought, oh, we missed out on this incredible thing. And now the Mets are kind of beginning to backstep because of the same medical issue. So, I don't know, just threw that in. Sorry, I know. Albert,
Weirdly,
I blame you.
The medical issue is he's attending nursing school.
Okay.
Little known fact.
I lost my thought. I was going to say something about Kevin. It was really going to be heartfelt, but now I've lost it. So
it had to do with my being an aggressive fan and in your face and
I just so enjoy you. You really are like the brother who makes me laugh. Whose victories I kind of feel vicarious triumphs through, and I just adore you. So thank you for being here today, and that's one of the great gifts San Francisco's given me is a relationship with Kevin. So thank you,
Well,
Paul.
happy birthday to you. And I don't want to cast any aspersions, but I feel we are closer than you are to your own brother.
Mark has a lot of brothers, so.
Sadly, that's true, though. Yeah. All right, Kevin, love you. Thanks for being here, Kevin Pollak, everybody. Yeah, see you soon, my friend.
It's happening again. The Mark Thompson Birthday Show.
A lot of love for Kevin Pollak. That was really cool.
I should have told him, Kevin Pollak, the only man that has signed a shirt for me. I had him sign a shirt.
How could you bury that lead?
I know.
No, I'll let him know, but we'll lose a little something because it'll be off the air. Really, really cool to have him on. All right, Kim will update things. There is crazy bad weather, as you know, and it's been more than crazy. I mean, it's been the craziest ever recorded through much of the country in terms of winter weather. And so we'll get to that. Smash the like button like a boss, if you would, please.
With your iron rod.
Yeah, because we need the thumbs up. And this show, this channel, has been demonetized by YouTube because of a clerical error. And I've been in touch with them, and finally I'm getting some movement. But I'm worried it may be some time before we're able to monetize this channel. Now you say, well, what's the problem with that? Well, it's a real problem because the only way that I support this group, the only way that I support this channel is with your donations, essentially, because the loss of YouTube monetization means no super stickers, no super chats. Tony, we are putting together, though, a way to acknowledge people on the air, people who have been particularly outstanding with their donations.
I'll have everything ready tomorrow.
Okay, great. So if you've been...
I'll have a super setup list and everything for you tomorrow. Everything. I'm going to go through everything.
Oh, you're awesome, man. Thank you so much.
I'll get everyone that we haven't been able to shout out for the past week or so. I'll get it all lined up.
Thanks, Tony.
All right, so this is great that all of you who've stepped up and who've responded to the fact that this channel has been demonetized, and you've stepped up and made huge Patreon contributions or huge PayPal contributions. By the way, anything you throw in is so appreciated, and we do add you, no matter what your donation, we add you to our credits at the end of the show. But those who have been particularly generous, we want to acknowledge you specially. And so we will do that. Tony's putting that list together, and we'll do that in the next couple of days here on the show.
Thanks, Tony.
So that's really a cool thing. All right. It's the home stretch of the birthday show. We'll rock some news with Kim, and then we will get into some other stuff as well. I've got a couple of stories to tell you that were requested by email. So we'll get to all of that as we continue. Thanks for being here.
The Mark Thompson Show.
On the Mark Thompson Show, I'm Kim McAllister. This report sponsored by tax attorney Steve Moskowitz at 888 Tax Deal. Well, last week's winter storm continues to impact holiday travel plans. Look at the airports. Wow, packed. More than 5,000 flights have either been delayed or canceled today. The top trouble spots around the country include Denver, Atlanta, and Baltimore, but we've even seen delays from the Oakland airport here in the Bay Area today. And it's package delays. Yes, today's USPS holiday means the wait continues for last-minute gifts that did not arrive by Christmas. The U.S. Postal Service officials say one Priority Mail Express packages are only going out in limited locations. Most city and county offices are closed as well. So the package that you were hoping would arrive by yesterday, well, it's going to take just a bit longer, it would appear. And this is a Russian opposition leader who says his health is being deliberately undermined. In a tweet, Alexei Navalny spoke out against the harsh prison conditions that he is experiencing. I don't know how he got access to Twitter in the Russian jail. The Putin critic, serving more than an 11-year sentence, said he is being denied medical care and that he's also being injected with some unknown drugs as well. So that's pretty scary for him. Taiwan says China sent almost 50 aircraft across the Taiwan Strait yesterday. The military exercises come just days after the U.S. strengthened its support for Taiwan. China carried out a number of military exercises near Taiwan earlier this year following a visit from House Speaker Nancy Pelosi.
That is by the way, I don't mean to be heavy on this day we've kind of been doing, celebrating and laughing, but that is an area where you could very easily back into some kind of conflict that could widely grow. And I'm very concerned about that. So that South China Sea is a place that that could easily be a tinderbox for real issues. Yeah, and there's a lot of smack talking back and forth on the military channels, meaning we're not really in the mainstream media hearing a lot about that in the way of coverage. But if you really look into it and you follow that bouncing ball, it's pretty scary.
Yeah, it's escalating is what it appears to be.
Exactly, escalating, right.
This is a picture of the Marin Headlands, and it is where the CHP says 2 hikers are okay, but they had to be rescued from a beach at the Marin Headlands on Christmas Eve. The individuals apparently climbing down a cliff, getting trapped near the water as the tide began to rise. CHP said a chopper had to be called in to get those hikers out of the area. Fire departments from El Cerrito, Marin County, and the Southern Marin District, along with the National Park Service, had to assist in the rescue effort there. And the University of California grad student workers ratified a new labor agreement. The contract comes with big wage gains, support for childcare, new protections against bullying and harassment as well, ending an historic strike that upended fall term finals and has really reverberated nationally. Oh, look, it's Chris Rock. Yes, indeed. His March 4th show in Baltimore will be the first ever global live stream event for Netflix. The special titled Selective Outrage will be Rock's second for the streaming giant.
Jada had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, right.
It'll come just over a year after the infamous slap incident with Will Smith at this year's Oscar ceremony. But that's kind of cool to make the history with the Netflix. This is kind of I tried to get this picture of Avatar: The Way of Water.
I'm sorry, really isn't sufficient.
Yeah, right. Well, I'm just saying that Chris seems to have moved on, right? Yeah.
He's moved on. He's doing bigger and better things.
All right.
This is Avatar: The Way of Water. And yes, it is the winner of the 4-day holiday box office.
My behavior was unacceptable.
We get it. You're sorry that you slapped Chris, but we've moved on, okay?
I want to apologize to Chris's mother.
Okay. Enough with apologies. All I'm just saying.
I want to apologize to Chris's family.
How long are we going to go on with this? Can you let Kim get to the next story? All right. Sorry, Kim. Go ahead.
Understanding the nuances and complexities.
Yes, the nuances and complexities, of course. All right, Kim, please continue. Sorry.
We're going to wrap it up because this is the
Jada had nothing to do with it.
Okay, sorry.
And this is at least
hang on a second. Hold on a second. Stop with the Will Smith. Okay, we've done the Will Smith. Go ahead now. This is the big James Cameron film. You're saying
it doesn't matter. Yeah, it's a $90 million Friday through Monday.
Wow!
With the big storm, it was the winner of the 4-day holiday box office, and their theaters closed across America because of the big storm, and still they took in that money.
That is amazing. $90 million in a weekend.
$90 million in a weekend. The Hollywood Reporter says the Christmas weekend's total revenue could be down as much as 33% from last year as well because of all the closures. The animated Puss in Boots: Last Wish brought in $20 million.
Michael Snyder really liked that. Have you seen it yet?
I haven't seen it yet,
but
it's
liked
on my
it.
list. Yeah, he told me it's a must see.
Right.
And this report is sponsored by tax attorney Steve Moskowitz for more than 30 years. Steve has put his tax knowledge to work for individuals and for businesses. So if you need help with your taxes, you can call Steve at 888-TAX-DEAL. You can find him online at moskowitzllp.com. I'm Kim McAllister on The Mark Thompson Show, Birthday Edition.
I'm Shadoe Stevens, and Christmas was great, but it's over. And now it's the Mark Thompson Birthday Show.
Yeah, it is. I know it's rough having your birthday the day after Christmas. I'll give it to you. So smash it
with your iron rod.
Smash it out of pity. Make it a pity smash.
Smash it
Hey,
with
I
your
feel
iron
bad for
rod.
Mark's birthday being the day after Christmas, but I'm excited to have my whole crew here. I'll tell you that. Yeah, we've got Albert.
Albert, thank you.
Albert is on board. I was texting Albert during the Niners game because I was worried early on. Then, of course, my worry melted away. But I guess when you root for a team, you always worry that bad things are going to happen. You know what I mean? And so
or you're just sitting there waiting for it to happen. You're like, okay, of course this happens.
Right, exactly. Of course this happens. And it's a woe is me kind of thing. But so Niners worked out, and as you say, Warriors, okay as well. So
yeah, because the Grizzlies, we eliminated the Grizzlies last season in the playoffs, and they've been talking a lot during the offseason. So the NBA saw that, scheduled them on one of the biggest primetime days of regular season, and the Warriors won with nobody. They won with we were missing two of our major pieces, and Klay Thompson and Draymond, Jordan Poole, they all stepped up.
I also want to welcome Tony.
Thanks, Tony.
Yeah, who is putting together a list of donors who all support this show. Thank you very much, Tony, and greetings of the season to you always.
Since I'm into the picture thing, can I show you a couple more photos? Is that okay?
Please.
I got an email last night from one of our big viewers, listeners, Nick, and he sent me this picture of the Christmas living room.
That is extraordinary.
But even more cool, I think, and that's a gorgeous picture, huge room and big, tall, high ceilings, is all the Mark merch that he got his entire family. You got the hydration system for Dad. You got an ornament for Mom. You got
my God, that's terrific.
You got the beanie. You got the shirt. So that's the Nick and family and their Mark merch Christmas.
That is absolutely awesome. I am I'm humbled by that.
Christmas is a great way to put it, Kim.
Mark merch Christmas.
That's right. Thanks, Nick.
I'm going to give you the big Dan Ashley shout out.
Big shout out.
Yeah. How about that? And
thank you so much.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. How about a Will Smith?
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and I'll give you a thank you, because there are 4 of you there.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that's
so
really
cute.
cool. They are cute. Yeah, great family. Everybody looks great and happy. Unlike my family. Wow, look at that. Edward Teixeira.
Oh, Edward.
From the wife, Merry Christmas. I very much enjoy your show. That's the Mark Thompson Show beanie. Come on.
Thank you.
You do look good, man. Ooh, nice job, Edward. Wonder if he goes by Edward or Eddie. Probably Edward. Otherwise, he'd say Eddie, But we did hear also from Joe Box.
Joe Box and Little Anthony.
And Joe Box says that Christmas has kind of dominated his landscape, and as a result, he hasn't gotten back to you yet, Kim. Isn't that what he was telling us?
Now he got back to me. Now I have to send him the dimensions of the giant tarp. So we will be measuring
the banner. It's not a tarp. It was. Wait a minute. It was sent in a tube, wasn't it?
Yeah, I have to measure the tube, which is taller than me. It's a
big thing.
Item.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll get that done.
All right, good. Yeah, because the tube is critical because we've already committed to that. So, all right. It is somebody else's, beautiful family. That's right. Great merch picks. Thank you. Yes, says S. Jones. Tess, Mark, merchness to all. Love the holiday family pick, says Celeste. I wanted to, way to go, Nick and family, says Lulu Lancaster. Lulu Lancaster, Nick, #1 supporter. I have to tell you that I've just learned of this. I haven't cross-referenced it, so I don't know that it's true. But there's another birthday today that I wasn't aware of, and it relates to San Francisco, and it relates to KGO.
Okay.
And that is, according to this person, Jim Eason. Remember him? He's the host. You may not recall him, Kim. He was on in the
how you could ever forget. This is,
It is Jim Eason's birthday too, says John Smith. And Lauren Eason says that today Jim Eason turns 87. He's my dad, and I hope to share some KGO favorite memories with him. Please share your fondest memory if you have one. Thanks in advance. I think that was on a Facebook post, probably. Yeah. But that's really cool. Jim Eason says, Celeste, one of the main reasons I started listening to KGO as a child. So he was brilliant kind of broadcaster, across the fence talker. You know, he had that Southern kind of thing, and he just sounded great and always was just such an effective communicator. I think he moved to the East Coast in one of the Carolinas. He's from North Carolina or something like that. And apparently he's 87 years old. I have 2 stainless steel mugs, says Judy, and 2 stainless steel tumblers. I bought them because they come with lids to prevent spillage. That's right. I tend to spill due to balance issues, arthritis. So that's too bad. But I'm glad you have these lids now. There and that merch. Thank you so much, Judy. That's Jim Eason. Yeah. KGO. You know, I have to say this about Jim Eason. You know, some people in radio don't look like what they sound like, okay? I tell you the truth, I don't think I look like what I sound like. Like, if you just heard me, I don't think you'd imagine that this is the guy who sounds like that. Just being honest about it. I think Jim Eason does look like he sounded. Jim Eason, when I saw him, I thought, wow, that's kind of in the universe of the way I thought he looked.
Right.
He has just an easy way about him and an easy way of speaking, an easy manner. I've got to sneeze. Excuse me for a second.
It's okay. We can do that. Well, we'll put the picture of Jim back up while you're talking.
He
does.
Sneezed on the air.
Has a bravado, and
Yeah.
So happy birthday, Jim Eason. Happy birthday, Mark Thompson.
He was one of the first people, it says here in indirect, to do a remote on a regular basis for his show, because they put an ISDN line in his house, I guess. You know, once they put that ISDN line in, you can do it remotely. Hit the like button and subscribe.
With your iron rod.
Says Sharon. Damn right, Sharon. You tell them. Hit the like button and subscribe.
Smash it with your iron rod.
Smash it with your iron rod. Thumbs up if you're watching in replay. Share the broadcast as well. I mentioned the demonetization. I'll mention it again. Somebody asked me to tell a story from show business or voiceover. I think we had the real Kevin Pollak had stories. You know, did you want to say something, Kim? Sorry. What's that?
You kind of owe me a Titanic story, so you could kill 2 birds with one stone there. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me do that then. I promised you a Titanic story, and I'm trying to remember if I've told you. Did I tell you the story already?
Someone who'll listen to your boring stories.
Yes, Kim is someone who'll listen to my boring stories. I told you the story about the extras.
The extras that were in the
on
water?
Titanic in the water. Didn't we tell that story? And then about the and I told you the story about lunch, right? Then I told you the story about lunch.
They made him eat the sandwiches in the water.
In the water.
Yeah.
But I did the story that I'm going to tell you, it's not really a story, it's just a fact.
Yeah.
You were talking, and I think you were talking with Nikki, that I'm just trying to block bots and porn bots at the same time. Okay,
I got
well,
it.
You got.
I already blocked them at the same time.
I think all of us simultaneous.
Go ahead. All right, you guys do that.
There will be no porn on the Mark Thompson show.
I know. I'm absolutely disgusted on my birthday to be affected by porn bots.
Good day, sir.
So.
Oh, Sheila.
What happened?
Sorry. I feel like I disappointed Sheila. My bad. I'm sorry. I apologize to the blonde, blue-eyed community.
Yeah, there you go.
Carry on.
On the extras on Titanic, Calvin points out they peed in the water because it takes too much time to take them out of the water. Yeah, it was a big tank, and it was chlorinated, so there's that. But anyway, okay, guys, let's now. I will just share this one fact because I know you had a big thing with Nikki about it the other day. So let me just give it to you, all right?
Yeah.
You said, and it's clear that it is probably true, that there was enough room on the door there where she was floating, right, at the end of the movie. Spoiler alert, right? He dies, she lives. He lets go of her, and he goes to his watery grave. She is rescued because she's there on the, and that's the love endures, but is never really, it never really could continue because of his death. You suggested, I heard in conversations that, well, if he'd gotten on board that door, the two of them, it would have been unstable, even though there was technically enough room. Water would have come on, and it wouldn't have been. We really couldn't have supported them both. And that's a fine theory. What James Cameron said is, look, everybody, I'm going to kill him one way or the other. He can't. That's the whole idea of the movie, is that he dies, okay? So I had a choice, is what James Cameron said.
Yeah.
He said, I could either kill him by having some big, heavy thing from the ship hit him in the head, and boom, he's dead. Or I could have this scene between my two leads where they're both struggling to survive, and then one is ultimately released into the cold waters that become his grave.
Right.
That seemed to be the more literary ending, the latter. And so that's why he did it that way. But no matter what, he was going to die, is what Cameron was saying. Yeah. So there's that.
Yeah, and Mythbusters did an episode on it, the old show on Discovery Channel, and they did say there was enough space, but they also did mention later on that, he had to die.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
sad.
It was sad. It was very sad, especially with that music playing. Oh my God, they get you with the music. Jess, when I first saw American Idol, I never would have imagined matching the voice with the face of Mark Thompson. That's right. The American Idol thing was a different kind of read too. It was sort of that, what was the kind of... That's loud. It was a loud read. Yeah, it was kind of like that. American Idol tonight on Fox. Yeah, it was on last night. They sang their hearts out. Tonight, one goes home. Yeah, so thank you for remembering that. I'll tell you one quick story, and then we'll begin to wrap up. It's very hard. I've got a lot of questions about this. It's very hard in this world of voiceover to get work. It really is. And I get this a lot from many of you who either have kids who want to get into voiceover work or you yourselves want to get into it. And when I went to Los Angeles from San Francisco, I wanted to get into it. Just getting an agent is difficult. You have to not only have a voice that they like. And it doesn't have to be a heavy voice like mine. Mine is obnoxious almost. It's so it's so rich in some ways, but, it's not right for the everyman read. And sometimes the everyman read is like, we have a guy on here frequently, Tom. He's got a great voice for commercial, I think. It doesn't sound announcery. Sometimes you want an announcer. Sometimes when you have it's a bank spot or something like that, you want your money is safe here at Kim Investments. You know what I mean? It's that kind of, you want a voice that makes you feel secure about your investment. It's that kind of thing. But oftentimes you just want an across the fence kind of, as I was saying, style. Anyway.
Yeah.
So it's hard. So when I finally got a job, it was like for Denny's, or it wasn't Denny's. It was like Denny's or Coco's or one of those. Okay.
Sure.
And it was a national television spot. It's really, really hard to get. And really, it's real money. So I did the spot, and I get called in about a month later to do what they call a pickup. And it's essentially their special, like the Grand Slam breakfast is now $2.99, not $4.99. Okay.
Right.
So you get called in to do the pickup, and all they'll do is play the commercial for you. And when you get, and all this month, the Grand Slam breakfast is $2.99. That's all you have to say at Coco's or Denny's or whatever. So they just punch you in effect, for that one line. Sometimes you'll read the one line 3 times or in different ways, different inflections. But they play you into the spot because you want to match the way you had read the spot to that point. So I go in. It was in Hollywood. This is a really exciting thing for me. First big national commercial on television, and also my first big, call to go do this pickup. So because they pay you again for the studio time and stuff, and I didn't have a lot of money, and this is kind of, so I pulled in, I said, Mark Thompson, I'm here for the, last time, and I go into this studio, there's an engineer there, and then I walk through another door, and there's the studio, and they have a monitor set up, and the people who are the ad executives are with J. Walter Thompson, big, I still remember J. Walter Thompson. They're in Chicago, big ad agency. And they're watching on a satellite hookup back then. Now they could probably do it like internet. And they said, Mark, good to see you, blah, 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 blah. We've got the spot for you. We'll play it again down for you. And all we have to do is to take out this one line. The Grand Slam breakfast is now $2.99, not $4.99. So I see the monitor. They play this spot, and it's not my voice.
What?
It's not my voice. Exactly. And so I'm like,
What?
Yeah, what do I do? What do I do?
Can't really match that voice. Okay.
And this is my first big commercial, and it looks to me like they've replaced me, with another voice.
Right.
So the spot is playing. It's a 30-second commercial, and about 15 seconds in, I'm trying to decide, what do I do? Like, do I tell them, hey, guys, that's not me? Or, I'm desperate to work. And I let the commercial run, and they said, okay, so all you have to do is just get that one line in. And you know what? I just read the one line.
That's it.
They said, that's weird. It doesn't sound like the way you read it the first time. And I said, well, let's run it again. Let's try to do it again. And so I do it again. And of course, it still doesn't. And they say, gosh, it's not sounding the same. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, because it's not me on the commercial. And then they said this, and this was a gift. They said, let's just do the whole spot again.
Nice.
And so I recorded the whole spot again.
Yeah.
And that was the end of it. And I walked out, and that was the spot that ran on television, and that was the spot that I got paid for. On my way home, I call my agent, though. And, I was so excited about my first,
Sure.
I said, and I told him, I said, dude, that's not me on that spot that I told him the whole story. And he said, I'm looking at this. You booked it. They used you. it says right here, I mean, everything checks out. They've even paid you on that spot. He said, so I don't understand what happened. There's no confusion between you and another person. So we'll never know.
I wonder who the other guy was.
Yeah. I'm just glad that I think the statute of limitations is up, and it's my thank you. That's it.
This feels like a producer problem, Mark. This feels like
it does. Whoever is producing
this thing has no idea what they're doing.
Yeah.
That definitely feels like something I would do. Like email the wrong person who did the same thing and then not telling anybody.
Nope. That engineer wasn't going to admit to doing it wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it just when I've told the story to other VO people, they go, I hope you didn't tell them that it was, that it wasn't you. You just can't, I mean, it's just, life presents for opportunities to you and you have to take them,
we heard your voice this year at the Super Bowl, Mark. I heard it was nice hearing your voice.
Oh, was I on a Super Bowl? Yo, what was I? What Super Bowl spot was I on?
Wasn't it Turbo, like a tax?
Oh yeah, Turbo. I think that's right. It was a tax thing.
It was a tax thing. I remember watching the Super Bowl and like, wait, that's Mark on TV.
That's right. That's absolutely right. That campaign was big, really big. That campaign was weird. I'll tell you this real quick, because they wanted me to come down to the set and read the lines on the set. Normally, you read them in a studio, the sort I just described. Right. Instead, they had me come down to the set, and I'm waiting all day into the night. Okay, it might have been, I was down there at like 8 a.m. They probably let me go about 7:30 at night. And at the very end of the day, I go in there. I remember it was cold, too. I was outdoors. It was inside this small house. Anyway, I go in, and I meet and they're all very nice. And then you read these lines inside. I'm thinking, there's no way you're going to. I don't care how. And he says, "Oh, I love this. I love the way it sounds. It sounds like you're in the room with the guy. I like." And I got what they were doing. Because you are.
You are in the room.
Yeah, I know why it sounds like that. Because I am here, and I've been waiting 12 hours to come here. But they were so nice. But then, of course, what do? They take you to a studio in Hollywood and you record it there. They don't.
Yeah.
That's
the engineers can be like, "No, this isn't you." The editors, like, no,
exactly. Everybody's suggesting maybe it was Dan Ashley on the other spot. Maybe it was the other Mark Thompson on the spot. Very funny. But anyway, very cool. Yeah, those of you who've come here through TYT, thank you very much. Love TYT. I'm doing TYT again, I think, in another couple of weeks. That's where I do political stuff completely. So anyway, very, very cool that everybody could turn out for the birthday. We had still ahead. He's back east right now, so I didn't want to burden him too much. Spencer Christian's going to stop through. Shadoe got the flu or has a cold of some kind. So yeah, that's the reason Shadoe couldn't be here live. But Shadoe did give us these incredible birthday things. These birthday drops are pretty terrific. Yeah.
So are you going? What are you going to do tonight? Are you going to have some type of party at your house, or? I'm
having a pizza and cake thing with Courtney.
So that wasn't a lie. It's vegan pizza and vegan cake?
It's not vegan pizza, but it's,
Bobby Slayton said it was vegan pizza party.
Well, I didn't. He likes to make fun of vegan. I think vegans, they're the easiest to make fun of now in our culture. It seems sad that it is that way. I don't know why people take the cheap shots at the vegans. I mean, they've done this thing. It's not like I don't proselytize or anything unless I'm asked about why I'm vegan. No, a lot of them do, but I do not.
So you'll have some vegan pizza, some meat lovers pizza. You'll have the whole thing.
Yeah, but that's a small group, and then there's a little dinner tonight, very small. Courtney and I are going to dinner tonight, so
nice.
It's low key. Yeah, it's very nice. I feel like I'm leaving something out, Albert. Am I leaving something out right now? Do I need to do something? Do I need to
Albert, thank you.
Pitch for
smash it with your iron rod.
Okay, smash the like button with your iron rod. And we are wrapping up the birthday show. This is our first big birthday show on YouTube. We hope to have a lot more. We need your help. And again, if you want to support the show, you see at bottom of the screen, themarkthompsonshow.com, click contribute to support us. themarkthompsonshow.com, click contribute. There you'll see Patreon, and you'll also see PayPal. You just whip out a credit card, leave us whatever you can. There it is. You see how contribute to our Patreon, help support us via PayPal. And you click on one, and you're off to the races. We cannot take YouTube money, and we're not getting monetized, and it's costing us a lot. And so we're in a little bit of a squeeze and a crisis. So I really appreciate your help to try to keep things going that way. So as we finish up,
it's happening again.
Right.
The Mark Thompson Birthday Show.
I want to thank the great Kevin Pollak, the great Josh Robert Thompson. How much fun is Josh Robert Thompson if you hadn't met him
Totally
before?
fun.
Yeah. And Josh Mankiewicz, we finally got his line in clean. And Courtney, my darling, who did Mark's Murder Mystery Monday. Everyone have a great weekend and join us tomorrow. And until then, bye-bye.